The Toronto Raptors barely scraped a win on the road last night in Orlando, and now they'll head farther south to Miami to face off with the Heat for the second road game in 2 days. I'm Megan Rochester with SBRpicks.com, and joining me here is expert handicapper Dave Golikoff to talk over the game. All right, now Dave, even though last night's win wasn't a pretty one, the Raptors took the W to keep a slight lead over the Chicago Bulls for the third place in the Eastern Conference standings. Winning their games for the next few days is absolutely crucial to lock in a better position heading into the playoffs, but can they do it, Dave?
I think so. I mean, you take a look at the Raptors, they're in better physical shape for the most part than the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat have kind of, they've been in must-win territory for a little while because they're fighting for their playoff lives, but it hasn't really translated into success for them. The urgency hasn't really paid off. They've lost 5 of 6. They're coming off a particularly demoralizing effort against Chicago on Thursday where, they had like an 8-point quarter in the second half. I think this is a team that looks, the Heat, they look like they've lost their way. They're a little bit out of gas, and I think part of it is just the injuries. Dwayne Wade is playing these days. I believe Luol Deng came back on Thursday as well, and Hassan Whiteside also played. But you can see that the performance isn't quite there. It's one thing to be in the lineup. It's another thing to be healthy. And I don't know that these guys are fully healthy. I think they're being trotted out there because they're in a position where they have to win. You look at the Raptors, not the ideal situation for them. They have won 2 straight, but both on the road. Now they're back on the road tonight. It's their third game in 4 nights, all on the road. It's not the ideal situation for them, but I think they're the better team right now, and that's why I'm leaning towards them.
All right, now Dave, as important as this game is for Toronto, I feel like this could be even more important for the Miami Heat. They're playing for their playoff lives here right now, and a win over a high seed like Toronto could certainly aid them in getting into the postseason. What will it take for Miami to win in this one, Dave?
Well, I think they're going to have to play with much more fervor than they did on Thursday. This is a team that, they're not out of the playoffs yet. They're not out. They haven't been eliminated yet, but they're 2 games back, and they can't afford to lose any more games. They've got Toronto, Orlando, Philadelphia. Those are 3 winnable games, especially with 2 of them at home. I know that they've lost 5 of 6, but many of those were on the road, tough teams. Even Chicago at home, Derrick Rose was back, at Indiana, at Detroit. Well, you don't want to lose at Detroit, but at Cleveland, home to San Antonio. Those are some of their recent losses. Toronto is not in that caliber. So if they can find a way to put forth a good quality effort tonight, they can probably beat Toronto. And Toronto is likely to be without Terrence Ross. Kyle Lowry is back for them, but you can see he played last night, only 10 points, so he's not 100% either. There's an opportunity here for the Heat, even though the line says that they're not expected to win this game.
All right, Dave, let's do this thing and pick a side here. We've got Toronto Raptors versus Miami Heat, and the Toronto Raptors are actually the 3-point underdogs in this spot. So who are you siding with in this one?
Actually, I think it's the Raptors that are favored here, and I think that's you're right. They are the underdog here. I like the Raptors plus the 3.5 points. For some reason, I thought they were favored. But no, I do like Toronto here. You're getting points with the team that I think is better. And I know they're in a back-to-back situation. I know Miami has to win. But I haven't seen enough from Miami recently to say that they will win. They've been slumping of late. They've had issues at the offensive end, at the defensive end. And that effort, particularly against Chicago, where they scored just 78 points, it's the second time in the last 3 games they haven't even cracked 90 points. So I think that's a concern right now. Toronto's got Lowry back. They're fighting for the 3rd seed, which is important to them in the conference. It prevents them from facing a tougher team in the first round. So enough for Toronto to play for here that I'm going to take them plus the 3 or 3.5 points.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Take the Raptors to skirt another win here on Saturday night with their second leg of a road series. It's risky, Dave, but I like it. Now, guys, if you think you've got a better pick on the game, give us a comment or hit us up on Twitter at SBR Sports Picks and give us your pick and your opinion before the game begins. Challenge us, and maybe we'll give you a shout out on the next show. But until next time, guys, keep it locked right here with us for the best predictions and selections, and you can only get it right here with us at sbrpicks.com.